My name is Tricia Lawdahl. I am a 68, almost 69-year-old woman at the end of this month. I have a birthday. Been working out at Alloy for almost 2.5 years now. Enjoy it thoroughly. I am married to a wonderful man and have 2 grown children, one here in Greenville, South Carolina, and one who lives in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. I was 48 years old, and we had gotten up from the dining room table and gone into the laundry room, and apparently had a long discussion, and my husband said to me later on in the bedroom, "What in the world were you and Christopher arguing about?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" I had blacked out. I did not recall the conversation or what we had talked about, and that really scared me. I thought, why can't I remember that? It just happened, an hour or two ago. There was a time when I drove the children to school after I had been drinking the night before. I hadn't had anything to drink all night long, but my alcohol level was not okay in my bloodstream, and I drove them to school. And I had to stop before I drove home and get sick in my car with a plastic bag. And I remember looking at the vanity mirror. I was whited as a ghost, and I just looked at myself and I said, "You're pathetic." And that was a horrible feeling. And those little things were happening and showing me I really didn't want to live like that anymore. And I had tried for years to quit on my own. And I finally surrendered and said, there might be some hope for me. And indeed, I walked into my first meeting feeling hopeless. I was wearing sweats. I had no makeup on. I was a mess. I cried the whole meeting. But I walked out of that meeting feeling hope. I saw those people laughing and smiling and nodding their head at me and coming up and giving me hugs and being supportive. And 3 ladies took me to lunch afterward. And I thought, I like these people. I don't know what they're doing, but there's something they're doing right, and I need to hear what it is. Often waking up with hangovers, feeling terrible, and really ending up just not liking myself, not being the person that I knew I was deep down inside. And when I drank, my behavior changed. I became irritable, impatient, especially with my children, and I became ashamed of the mother that I was. And I didn't want to live that life anymore. I didn't want to live like that anymore. The biggest question was, how do I stop? I was addicted to alcohol. I was lucky in that I got into recovery very quickly. And so my routine, my day routine, my night routine, everything changed. And then I started to change and feel better. And so it was easy in that I got results more quickly than a lot of people do. I didn't struggle as much as some people do, but it was very intentional. And I was ready to make those decisions and those changes. When I look back at pictures of myself, like especially after pregnancies or something like that, it's like, oh my gosh, I have come a long way, and I want to keep on this journey. So that's all the more motivation where I've got to keep working out. I've got to keep taking care of my health and doing everything that I can. And when I learned the whole philosophy and the way Alloy works with the trainers and the equipment and things like that, I thought, that's something I've never tried before. I want to give it a shot. It was my daughter's idea. She saw that they were building the gym at the time and said, "Hey, how about if we, join this gym?" And I think that's a great idea. I need to do that, thinking of my age and bone density and building muscle and getting more flexibility and all that stuff. So yeah, we joined together and started going together in the evenings after work. So it worked out great. It was a great start. And so what I've been able to appreciate with consults with a nutritionist for 10 weeks through Alloy. Is how all of that is tied together and how holistic our health has to be. I was able to recovery in 12-step programs and did that for many, many years. And then a friend of mine was starting up a business to make recovery more accessible and less secretive because, as many people know, Alcoholics Anonymous wants to stay anonymous. And I get that, and I don't want to or would never out someone else that's in recovery, but I'll tell you all day long about my recovery because I'm proud of it. It's changed my life, and I want more people to know how great it is. Yeah, it's a lot of work, but when you do it with a group of people and you get that kind of support, it's so much easier, and it's so worth it. I mean, they've all been part of this journey. I did not get here alone. With their encouragement and their support, that's why I'm here. That's made a huge difference. And what a unique combination of people. What's interesting too is the attitude or the thought. You walk in and you think, you know, maybe it's a day where you're kind of, I don't know, I'm not really feeling it. I don't know if I can do this. Or I'll just go light today. You know, those type of feelings. And then you find yourself pushing yourself harder than you thought you would. I don't want to move to a 55 and older community. I want to be around younger people who can teach me about things. You know, I want to look up, what does that slang term mean? You know, I want to be engaged with people of all ages and just keep learning. It's this camaraderie, like we're all there for the same reason, and you can quickly make friendships because of that commonality, I think. Unifying the group and helping them support one another. Unbelievable. Would not believe where I am, because I really feel like I have accomplished so much. When I was 26 years old, I can remember seeing people on the street going, get a job, you're just lazy, having no clue, being so ignorant, and judging people that way. And I'm so thankful that I don't do that now because I understand, because I've been educated by those very people of what it's like for them and how resilient and how strong and smart and funny and talented those people are.
The fact that she's 69 and has all these joint and back problems and delivers at a high level consistently for a prolonged period of time, to me speaks loudly.
Because she is dynamite.
She fits right in and makes everybody feel like family. And
seeing things in a positive light, and that's been such an inspiration to me because it's never too late. We think that 30 or 40 or 50, you know, we're getting old, and she just doesn't have that. She just feels like a special person and someone you want to know and be around, and that's a story that I felt like needed to be told.
I think the biggest change for her journey was seeing her falling in love with loving herself.
Again, I could not have done this without you. You mean the world to me, and I look forward to seeing you every single time I show up, even on the 4th day of the week on a Saturday when I'm making up. And it's something I want to share too with other people and in the community, and just tell them how great Alloy is and how unique it is. I've been to a lot of gyms, and I've never been to one like this.